This beer cost $1 in 2024. Welcome to Tulsa, Oklahoma, where you come for the $1 beers and you stay because of the value?
We have a pitch invader here in Tulsa. Hey, it's your soccer zombie Tom Franklin here in downtown Tulsa, Oklahoma, in search for more lower league soccer in America. This time we are moving up a level from Omaha last weekend. We are back in the USL Championship now to see FC Tulsa take on Orange County SC here in beautiful Tulsa, Oklahoma. And I can already tell that this stadium is going to get a pretty decent score. I got to cross the street here real quick. There we go, we got my cardio in for the night. So I can already tell that this stadium is going to get a decent score. It is a baseball field, which I know sounds hypocritical because I kind of buried Omaha Stadium a little bit last week for playing in a ballpark. The difference here though is that, as you can see behind me, this is a downtown, urban atmosphere, and I always like ballparks that are in the downtown area. But why am I here? Well, a couple reasons. It's about 5.5 hours from St. Louis, making it one of the closer championship teams to get to, but also it's dollar beer night. $1 beers in America in 2024. I had to come down here and see exactly what that is like. If this is your first video on my channel, I do something called Away Day Reviews, where I review every stadium based on the stadium quality, the game quality, the value, and the vibes. I am going to warn you, the value is going to be pretty high on this one because you cannot beat dollar beers anywhere on this planet. So let's go inside the stadium. Also, maybe we'll bump into some Tulsa fans, talk to them as well about their team, and let's go. I'm here with Denis, member of the 83 United. Tell me a little bit about 83 United. When did you guys get your start?
Well, we originally started with the Roughnecks, and of course we were the Roustabouts back when we started back in 2015. Played many times against the Hooligans and that kind of stuff, and when they were in the USL. And then once the team did a rebrand a few years ago, we went ahead and switched over to 83 United, which was actually our original 501c name. And 83 United, of course, comes from back the old Roughnecks in the NASL days, and when we won the championship in 1983.
How much has the fan base grown over the years?
I think it's improved a little bit. I've definitely seen a lot of new faces since I've been here. It was just kind of nice, all ages. So it's been really good. I think the team's done a really good job of reaching out to just about everybody in the community, that kind of stuff, which they are much more community driven. So that helps with the fan base, helps with us, helps us get people out. Makes it easier for us to be exposed, especially when we do events as well.
What are you hoping for tonight? You got Orange County.
Hopefully we can keep our momentum going. We haven't lost at home in 5 games, so July's been great. Our goalkeeper just got Player of the Month. 2 players on the Team of the Week. Coach just got Team of the Week last week. We're coming off a big win. So hopefully the players can just keep it going. Like I said, we start making that playoff push.
Perfect weather tonight too, so
yeah,
no excuse to stay away,
this.
right?
Middle of August, you can't beat this. I mean, this shouldn't happen. So hopefully a lot of people will come out tonight.
So, how does $1 beer in 2024 taste like? Let's find out. It tastes great. I mean, the beer's okay, but the fact that it's $1 means it's awesome. In Omaha, I complained about staring into the sun, and if the sun were out, then that would be a problem in this particular section, but this is not the supporters section. This is all the general seating over here, and the supporters are back here behind the net.
Man, they love their fireworks here. What do you enjoy the most about these games here at Tulsa?
Well, I love the sport, first and foremost, and I think the vibe and the people you meet around you is where I'm not from Tulsa originally, so this is where I've met the people that I hang out with.
Absolutely. And what about you?
I actually worked for the club for a couple years.
Oh, did you really?
I did. So I'm a big fan. I'm also from Tulsa, so kind of like she said, it's nice to have a community in soccer in my city that I grew up in, so I love it.
So, since you're a former employee, do you have to say nice things about the club, or are you okay? Are you okay now?
I don't have to, but I only have nice things to say.
Perfect. You know what? I like that. I will go with that. So, would you say that interest in FC Tulsa and soccer in general has grown?
I would say it has.
I feel like if you go to one game, I would say you'll have a good experience, and once you have one, like, you'll want to come back.
As you can imagine, dollar beer night is popular. I wonder why. Pretend there's two other cans here. The other two blew over. So I've noticed something interesting with the attendance. So this end behind one of the goals, pretty well filled in. It's a berm area, but not a whole lot of green you see there. And then if you swing all the way around over here, near midfield, that's pretty well filled in. And then there's this big old gap in the corner where no one's sitting. And then you got the other end where it's a general admission area, and it's, you know, it's more filled in than the corner, that's for sure. And then all of us degenerates here for $1 beer have definitely filled this section in. All right, so just about halftime, and I've hit my personal cutoff on beers because drink responsibly after all. I had four beers with tax, a total to just under $5. There is no way anyone in America, anywhere, can beat that unless they do their own deal themselves. There's always one. Congratulations, you have unlocked the Messy Jersey Hunt, the running gag in my away day videos where I try to find someone wearing a Messi jersey. But instead of coming off as a creeper, I am going to actually talk to this person about his fandom of Messi and why he's a soccer fan. And I noticed you both are Messi fans as well, so is that what got you into the sport, or?
Yeah, I've been a Messi fan ever since Barcelona, and so been following him, and now that he's here in MLS, it makes it more exciting watching, USL and MLS games.
Was Messi a reason you're here, or do you think you have gone to a game if it weren't for Messi?
Oh no, we would still be going. We're Sporting Kansas City fans, LAFC fans, and so now that he's at Miami, it's just even cooler.
Gotcha, very good. So, have you been going to these games for a few years?
Yeah, we've been going to FC Tulsa for about 3 years now.
Yeah. Do you think interest in FC Tulsa has grown in that time?
I hope so, and I think so. I mean, you can look around, it is a pretty good crowd.
I'm going to now go join the supporters section. The ladies that we spoke to earlier actually suggested I go there. So I'm going to do that right now. I also have my family here as well, and now I'm going to actually focus on the game itself. And I just missed the fireworks. Hey kiddos, so you enjoying the game today?
Yeah!
Absolutely. So are you all FC Tulsa fans?
Yeah!
Yeah. What do you enjoy the most about these games?
Watching the score! The excitement.
Yeah.
Seeing the halftime because then you can get money. The halftime because sometimes you can get money.
There you go. You know what? Bribery never hurt anyone. Let's go Tulsa!
Let's go to Tulsa!
Okay, now we've hit the disclaimer portion of this video, and I'm going to warn you that the creative words I heard in this supporters section rivaled some of the stuff I heard in England, so viewer discretion is advised.
We have a pitch invader here in Tulsa. She just got a selfie with a player. She just ran off. She's running up the stands. Security is not in pursuit. I repeat, security not in pursuit. And the offender is being escorted out. The judge. Look at it again. I'm 4 beers into this game, but I'm pretty sure that Orange County guy took the Tulsa guy out. The advice to come to the supporters section was a good one because the vibes are definitely vibier here. You're set so far off from the field in the dollar beer section, but then again, if you're going to the dollar beer section, you're probably there for the dollar beers. I mean, that's an obvious statement, but it's just a fact. You come here for the vibes, you go over there for the dollar beers. It makes sense. Who's your father? Who's your father? Never had one. You're a bastard referee. Never had one. You're a bastard referee. Who says America doesn't have creative chants like the English? Wow. I just want to say that I absolutely adore this downtown backdrop. They oriented this field perfectly so that you can have a view like this from the supporters' end. Perfect, perfect, and perfect. Tulsa! FC! Now or never time for Tulsa stoppage time, still 0-0. Can we get a breakthrough either way?
Well, on that happy and kind of vulgar note, here we go to the away day review of Oneok Field and FC Tulsa. We'll start off with the stadium. So here we have another baseball field that is playing the role of soccer field tonight. But unlike Werner Park in Omaha, I'm not going to hit Oneok Field with a chair shot to the head. They do a lot better with the space they have, and the space itself is in a much better place, which dragged Werner Park down a lot. Oneok Field is right in downtown Tulsa with plenty of restaurants and fun stuff to do in walking distance, like these festive bicycle bars. I saw a couple of these around the stadium and they were full of patrons. Parking isn't a problem as there's lots and lots of street parking, and as you can see, the field is right off the highway and very accessible in general. There's also a lot of parking lots as well.
I think the location is perfect. After the game, you go and have dinner, you go and have drinks. accessible parking everywhere, so it's a pretty fun night out.
Concourses were nice and wide, and I never had trouble moving around, and it felt like they utilized the outfield area better than Werner Park. The berm on the end was pretty full. The configuration is, well, it's the best they can do in a baseball park. In the dollar beers section, you have a giant gap between your seats and the field because the field runs along the first base side, and the section is in a terrace area in left field. They do fill it with fireworks, but the view isn't great. Down in the 83 United supporters section, you have a real good view of the field, and you can hang out by the rail. I absolutely adore this downtown backdrop at night. It looked much better in person, but during the day, you're not staring into the sun as our section faces to the south. But again, it's a baseball park, which means it's not an ideal setup for things like drums and flags. And when I was in the dollar beer section, I couldn't really hear the supporters much, but they were very loud when I was there, so the sound doesn't really carry. You can hear for yourself.
The location is great. Plenty of hotels, restaurants, food, everything you want down here. It is a baseball stadium, so it's not a soccer stadium, so, proper soccer stadium. So that's what we want. That's what we hope to get someday.
Oneok Field is a vast improvement on Werner Park, and I'd almost call it good, but it is a baseball park. I love the location and the setting of it. FC Tulsa does make the most out of its space, but it's not ideal, and the vibes suffer a bit because of the design. But as far as baseball fields masquerading as soccer fields go, it's fine. I'll go with a 6.5, which is about as high as I can go for a soccer field in a baseball park. And now on to game quality, and this will be the lowest score of the 4 categories, and if you watch the Forward Madison video, you'll know why. It was a 0-0 draw. I'm not going to spend too much time on this because there's not really a heck of a lot to say. Also, drinking 4 beers in roughly an hour does make the game a bit hard to focus on. Tulsa fired 11 shots, but just 3 on target. Orange County had 6 shots on target and 18 total. Game was a bit muddy at the end as the refs started becoming a little whistle happy when Tulsa was on the attack, as you heard from our colorful friend earlier. Even the Tulsa manager after the game told reporters that the game had no rhythm to it, and despite both goalies making some good saves, it's a 0-0 draw. And as a neutral, that's almost always a bummer. It was better than the Madison 0-0 game as the level of play was overall better, but in the words of Rick from Pawn Stars, 5.5 is the best I can do. And now we're on to value, and this one gets a 10 out of 10, and we can move on to the next category. Full stop, no arguments. No, you can't do that. The people are gonna win a full review, dude. Look, what else do I have to say? Dollar beer night, hello? Okay, but look at what I'm wearing. How much did you pay for this again? Oh, yeah, I do have to talk about that. And what about the cheap and even free parking, the ticket prices, the concessions, Okay, yes, we definitely need to talk about the value of going to an FC Tulsa game. First off, to get into the dollar beer section, the ticket's just $15. I think they sold out because this is a look at the ticket prices on Gameday, and they're not listed. But otherwise, as you can see, it's not expensive to get into the stadium. There's plenty of free street parking around the stadium if you know where to look, but prepaid parking at the main lot is just $7, and it's a block from the stadium. Not bad. The team store isn't open for soccer fans, but they do have these merchandise stands around the stadium. There's this one by the main entrance, there's another in the concourse, and one more up in the suite area. They had a good assortment of merch available, from jerseys, shirts, scarves, and more, although I was about to knock the score down because the jerseys were on the pricier side. But I want to show you these grab bags, and these ruled. So for the second weekend in a row, I've come across a USL venue that has these grab bags, promising X amount of value for the actual X amount of price. This was $60 worth of value for the price of $30. I've already looked in it. I have questions about the value. First of all, the scarf was separate, by the way, about $25. Comes with a hat, but that's not all. That is definitely not all. It came with a jersey. You saw the price tag for what these are going for, $90. It came with a jersey. Man, value so far, and you saw the other concession prices,
this is going to get a good score. Well, it already was because of the dollar beers.
Then I checked the concessions, and to my amazement, I have no complaints about the concession prices here. Yes, there's more expensive options here, but there's also affordable options mixed in. If all you want's a hot dog, that's less than $4. Most things at the stand were $10 or less, which I really can't complain about. Again, American prices, but sometimes we don't want to stuff our faces in at a ball game, and it's good that there's cheaper options. Beer prices, less than $8 if you weren't in the dollar beer section. That's a plus, and soda was about $5 as well. Well done, FC Tulsa. And then there was the dollar beers. 4 of these cost me less than $5 with tax. I dare you to find a better deal in America in 2024 than that.
Shrinkflation? What shrinkflation? They fill these cans all the way to the friggin' lip.
So I have no choice but to break my rating scale, and I'm giving FC Tulsa a 12 out of 10. Because I already gave Madison a 10 out of 10, and Tulsa, quite frankly, goes a couple steps above with the dollar beers, the dripping with value grab bags, reasonable concessions, and cheap tickets and parking. Just absolutely crushed this one and set a high bar for other teams to follow. This will be the new 10 going forward. And now we get on to the vibes, and as I alluded to earlier, the openness of the stadium doesn't lend itself to widespread atmosphere. Yes, when you get in the supporters end, it's a fun time. Thank you, Jessica and Bella, for recommending I go down to that section in the second half after drinking my fill.
I think definitely whatever is a section, we definitely bring the noise with the drums and the chants. 83 United behind the goal, 918 Brigade, the Lunatics, the other supporter groups. They're all gonna definitely bring the noise.
By the way, no one seems to care if you move around the stadium and sit in a different section. Hint, hint. The 83 United are another smaller supporters group, but they brought the vibes with the drums and the chants. Elsewhere in the stadium, fans weren't really there to make noise, but rather have a good time, and that's perfectly fine. In fact, Denis actually kind of warned me about that.
I think Tulsa's still kind of learning. Like I said, I think it's the baseball stadium. You get a little bit of a baseball crowd. I don't know how many other teams suffer from that as well. So, I mean, that's always the dream about getting your own stadium. St. Louis can attest to it. It makes a different atmosphere.
Lots of kids at the game tonight. They all look like they were having a fun time as well, including these kids in the clip earlier who were eager to get my autograph for some reason. I guess I finally made it. Although I will admit that 2 of these kids are my younger cousins. So I had fun at FC Tulsa without expecting too much out of it, to be perfectly honest. Forward Madison and Louisville City had reputations that precede them a bit, but FC Tulsa really surprised me with how fun the game day experience was. Not the loudest crowd, but a good-sized crowd of about 4,000 to 5,000 on hand. They never announced the official figure. It's a solid 7 from me, giving FC Tulsa a damn respectable score of 31 out of 40. It is worth noting I was at the game with my cousin and her family, as I alluded to earlier, and they had never been to an FC Tulsa game before, but they said they'd definitely be back. Didn't we hear that earlier?
I feel like if you go to one game, I would say you'll have a good experience, and once you have one, like, you'll want to come back.
But yes, her 2 sons were definitely into it, and they will probably nag my cousin constantly to come back. Sorry, Ashley.
Still a tough night for the Tulsa faithful. Still got a point though, but a 0-0 draw. Both teams had their chances, Tulsa especially in the second half. But the fans, unfortunately, going home with a bit of a bitter taste in their mouth after this one. But a good time tonight. I mean, they made a baseball stadium work for this. The orientation's nice. The stadium's good. They do the best they can with the supporters section. I mean, it's obviously not like a typical supporters section with a combo stand and, standing sections and all that. But they've made the best of it, absolutely. The value, I mean, look, this obliterates Madison. Like, it really, really does. Like, yeah, good time tonight. The vibes, once I got into the supporters end, fun time. Anyway, if you're in Tulsa for whatever reason, or you're near Tulsa, and you ever thought about going to an FC Tulsa game, give this a shot. Like, this is actually a good time, and again, you'll get a good value out of your ticket price, out of the concessions, out of the merch, and if you go on dollar beer night, I mean, it's the ultimate. It really is. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like and subscribe for more. Please consider joining the supporters section. If you enjoyed this, at just 99 cents a month, helps get me to games like this so I can bring them to you and unlock the mystery of lower league soccer. This is your soccer zombie, Tom Franklin, and my first ever lower league soccer game in America took place in April with Indy 11. Just a couple days after the mayor delivered some very interesting news about their future. If you want to know more about it, check it out up there.